Alright, so both of these phones have your standard keyboards. I obviously have aftermarket ones downloaded on my S3 that I've been using for quite some time just because it lights up blue. It's really nice, but these are the standard ones that come. The only thing that I will change is I'm going to get a black keyboard for this one. Now I have both the phones on the highest brightness setting. And one thing I wanted to point out that they did change. Now I don't know if it's a S5 and S3 thing, or if it's because they're on different versions of Android. If you're a single-handed text person, you'll find this way easy to use. I don't use that. That's just personal preference. It's so easy. I have yet to experience any ghosting, which means if I'm typing something that there's a lag or delay. On the S3, I sometimes get that every once in a while. One new thing that you will see is it gives you a boatload. Now this is all stock of little icon things that you can add in all of your text messages. Now I didn't go through all of these, but I did send my wife some of these smiley faces and they do show up, but the other person, I don't know how it's going to look on their phone. I'm going off of the S2. They just may have to hit the volume button to increase the size to actually see what the smiley face is doing, because if the other person cannot see the actual smiley, it kind of makes it pointless. But that is just one new feature I thought I would point out. Now I'm not saying that the S3, it's very easy to type on as well. Very much so love this phone, but I do find it easier to text on the S5 because of the size difference, because the keyboard expands a little bit more, even though the phones, if it is wider, it's by a very very small amount, to the point where you would actually have to measure them yourself or look up the specs. One thing that I do not like about the S5 is the fact that they completely changed the menu button. If I wanted to change something, that's all I had to simply do is hit the menu button. Now when you hit the menu button on the S5, that's what pops up. It basically gives you all of your most recent activity, and you just swipe away what you don't want. Now in order to access your settings, you actually need to go up here into your settings, and you can change the way the layout looks. I just had it set up so it's in a list view. So is that something that's big? I continuously keep hitting the menu button by accident, even though I don't mean to, and I'm just not a fan. Another big thing is side scrolling. See how you could flip through all of your home screens and then they just keep rotating? Well, not any longer. Now the S5 has it so once you reach your max, left or right, you cannot go any further. Another annoying thing is this My Magazine, which is basically, I forgot the name of the application. To me, it's annoying. It gives you like all the news and everything else, stuff that I would never use. So now I find myself constantly having to scroll, and it basically loads up. So something small, but it's irritating to me because I constantly keep scrolling all the way over in hopes that I could just keep rotating. But no, you cannot do that any longer. Now, will it go back to your home? Yes, it will. So, I mean, there's another one right there. If I both flip over to my calendar and I hit the home button, you'll see that there is a slight lag on the S3 where it transitions pretty smooth on the S5. Now, okay, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. As far as the screen goes, one thing I will say almost immediately is it's hard to tell from the camera angle. That's the only bad thing about trying to do stuff on video, because the person may not see what you're talking about. Now if I hold these up side by side, I don't know if it's going to show through the camera lens, but it's almost like this has a shade over it, where it has a tint of black, where this display on the S5 is extremely crisp, and the viewing angles are amazing. There's no washed out colors. When I do it on the S3, the colors get kind of washed away, and like I said, it has like a shade over it, which it never really bothered me. Now, what really did bother me was the S2. The way the colors washed out on that phone was absolutely ridiculous, and that was a huge jump up from the S3 from the S2. Just another quick speed test. I will load up IMDb on both devices. Now, once again, I'm on Wi-Fi. I'm not on 4G. So I mean, is there a big difference? No, but obviously the S5 will load up a little bit faster. Although when I was running tests, sometimes I had the, and my friends texted me, awesome, even though I told them not to. Sorry about that. One thing you will notice is that just like, I forgot which, they were on the iPhone 5S and between the iPhone 5 and the 5S. Sometimes the 5 loaded up faster, sometimes the 5S loaded up faster. Although I would say probably a good 80% to 90% of the time the S5 will obviously load up, and that's why I wanted to go through something that had a little bit more images and things like that to load up. So those are, and I mean, besides the obvious factors that it has the heartbeat sensor and the fingerprint scanner, I pretty much covered all of those main points. Now here is my honest opinion. If you have the S3, I would just hang on to it, because this phone, if you've been following me for a long time, you know this, that I've pretty much owned every single Boost mobile phone. As far as smartphones go, I have had zero issues with my S3. I've had issues with all of my other phones besides this one. And that's why it was very hard for me to get another phone besides the S3, but I just couldn't resist because I loved the S3 so much that's why I figured, hey, you know what? It can only get better from here. Am I saying the S5 is not a good phone? No, absolutely not. In fact, I absolutely love the S5. Now, I'm glad I bought it, okay? I'm very glad I bought it. Can I honestly recommend you guys buy this phone for $600? I can already read through all the comments that you guys have all been like, $600, oh my god. You know, it's just, and I didn't cover the camera just because I'm doing that on a whole separate video. Is the camera nicer? Are there small features that are on the S5 camera that are not on the S3? Yes. I went through some of the options yesterday, but like I said yesterday in my review, I'm going to be doing a separate video on just the camera alone, because I do really, really like it. It is awesome. Some of the new features that I do plan on utilizing in my next videos. But $600, I just don't see, and if you were to ask me what can they add to the phone to make it $600, I couldn't even tell you. But no phone should be $600, and that's period. There's no way any cell phone should be $600. The only people I would, if you've never owned a smartphone, or if you really, really wanted to have a nice phone, right here, get the S3. If you have the money and you want top of the line, absolutely, get the S5. There are small features and upgrades that you will get in the S5 that are not available in the S3. But until they do a major price cut, which I think, here's my prediction. I think Boost is going to wait it out, see that no one's buying the S5. Due to that price tag that they punched on it, you know, $400 I think I put out for the S3, which I thought was hard enough at the time. So when DJ told me 600, oh my god, I almost had a heart attack. That was really intense to make that kind of buy, but it was worth it. I'm glad I got it, because now my wife has the S2 now. I'm going to give her my S3, which she's really happy about. But anyways, before I continue to keep rambling on, thank you guys for checking this out. If you have any other questions about the S5 or my opinions on it, leave it in a comment below. Feel free to send me a message, and I will try and get my Facebook back up and running. I just haven't been on it in a long time, and I will catch you guys in the next video.